Hold on.
I thought you said 3 minutes. Oh, okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're live now. I thought the 3-minute timer was until.
We can.
That's okay. Then.
We are. Yeah. I mean, we are technically live now, so
No.
They can hear us behind the screens. Yeah.
Very short story. Someone wanted to host a class about using chat bots to help you be an author.
Mm-hmm.
And the bookstore said, that's not what we're about. We don't want to do that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to tonight's edition of The Horrors Within special presentation with PhD&D, the one and only Jason Bowers, Dr. Bowers. I blew my introduction because it's been a while since I streamed. What I meant to say was, you are about to enter a world of imagination. A world where battles are fought and won, against green screens that don't want to cooperate, against dice and hex maps and grids, where even the toughest battles can be fought and won with a little bit of imagination and a lot of luck. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ravenlore, and welcome to the Raven House. I promise by the time I get around to streaming more frequently, I'll get the green screen taken care of. But for now, let's go step inside of my chill room and talk to Dr. Bowers in person. Jason, you're now on camera, buddy. How are you this evening? Let me turn the music down, sorry. Boy, that's loud. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the audience, yeah, a little out of practice. How we looking for the volume there? Jason, let me take you off mute here, buddy. Sorry, I had you on mute there for a second. All right, knocking the rust off there. Sorry about that, guys. Dr. Bowers, good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. I must confess, I am afflicted with a most foreboding and baleful suspicion, as though merely by cracking the codex that promises to be the new truths about Ravenloft, I have been ensorcelled with the dark powers themselves.
Ensorcelled? That is fantastic. I love that word. I thought you were gonna talk about the yellow sign there for a second. I thought we were going to go on the Carcosa route there for a second. It sounded
well. I didn't come up with the term. In fact, I first spied it as a young lad in the title of a song by the black metal band Emperor in their album Anthems to the Welkin at Dusk, track 4, called "Ensorcelled in Chaos."
Ooh.
Now, the fact that I read it on a black metal band's track listing is not evidence for it being an English word. In fact, quite to the contrary. If I'm not mistaken, 90s black metal bands from Norway had a tendency to neologize specifically based on whether the resultant word would sound scary, you know?
Really? So the scarier the word, the easier it was to enter into the lexicon? Like the more accepted?
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't.
Dark art of path to Nocturnity.
Nocturnity. I don't know if you can see the chat,
Dark
but
Journal.
Hergles 5416 asks, "Is that a Rocky Horror T-shirt?"
Oh,
Oh,
you know what? This reminds me. There's a group of collaborators on my Discord, and although it's been stuck in production on account of my own delinquency when it comes to deadlines, we've got like a Rocky Horror themed set of adventures that are going to come out on the DMs Guild. I'm going to aim for this month. We'll see.
As far as delays go, maybe the rain isn't quite to blame, but we'll remove the cause, but not the symptoms. So, Jason, thank you for grabbing the book early, and we're here tonight to do a complete read-through. Now, personal, I guess, how can I put this? Full disclosure, I was on the fence about getting it, but after seeing some of the things that I've seen and seeing your excitement privately, and I'm on board. So my only regret is the fact that I didn't pre-order it. So like if I'd have thought about it beforehand, I could have pre-ordered it. But alas, I didn't. But so we're just gonna have to eye rape your book tonight, buddy. I mean, respectfully. Yeah, no,
Okay.
the wrong word.
Well, let's.
Yeah, do you want to jump right in, or how? What do you think? Yeah.
So I think I'd like to join you in provisos to say that I was not given this copy of the book by anyone. I'm not on the special magical boy list of whoever gets early copies among YouTubers. No offense to Nerd Immersion. That guy is cool and everything, but he gets stuff early and I don't, and I'm just not one of those. So in case anyone was wondering whether, how I got this, I just bought it. I have a very vigilant brick and mortar that kind of gets things in a timely way, and I pre-ordered. I really enjoyed this book. There are criticisms I have, and we'll get to those, but I dare say that if you are looking for a Ravenloft source book, this will make you happy. Right? it has a lot of advice that isn't present in Van Richten's guide.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because Van Richten's was kind of deficient in its advice. It's just that the game has kind of changed from not just from 5.E to 5.5, as we now have to say,
Mm-hmm.
but also like in just how many people have come to the hobby, how many people are accustomed to home brewing,
Mm-hmm.
how many people are really interested in taking this rule set and, you know, mapping it onto like a serious tactical grid game, and maybe, you know, drawing from like Draw Steel and these other kind of games. There's a lot of advice just about that. For instance, Van Richten's guide didn't have any bastions because, you know, 5.0, as I guess we're going to have to say now, there are no bastions. That's not a system.
Right.
I also detect a very deliberate effort to respond to the most focused and passionate criticisms of Van Richten's guide in this book. So if you take a look at what not just the mainstream consumer had to say about Van Richten's guide, but if you also took a look at what, you know, the grognards had to say, I feel like they're trying to respond to everyone, and although the response may not be to everyone's universal liking, no one can accuse them of disregarding or ignoring those kinds of, you know, considerations, those standards. So anyway, shorter answer to your question. Yep, I got the book early. It's great.
I figured.
I like it.
No, this is good because I was hoping we could, you know, start with sort of like
As
a general overview.
Also,
Yeah,
I got the DM screen.
Yeah, that's the next thing I wanted to do was take a look at like exactly what you got with the book and like was this pre-order stuff or? Mm-hmm.
No, none of this is exclusive pre-order.
Okay.
It's just kind of so I got everything except for, you know, the action figures, the T-shirt, and the flamethrower. The kids love this stuff. No. Atomic Empire in Durham, North Carolina, was ahead of the game when it came to like receiving all the Ravenloft stuff, and so I got the map pack, the new THOUROUGH deck, the DM screen, and the core book with the deluxe cover, and then that's it. I didn't pick up the flamethrower. Okay.
Well, you know, I always keeping the amount of gas you need in a flamethrower to be like effective with it has always been for me. I thought like, you know,
or the breakfast
cumbersome.
cereal. There's no Ravenloft breakfast cereal yet. But,
oh no,
I didn't get that.
No Azios. Yeah, yeah. You know, dark on Dunkers.
Strated wheat.
Strated wheat. Boom. That's good. So let's if you don't mind, let's get into it. But let's get into the ancillary stuff first. So why don't we start with like taking a look at the THOUROUGH deck, and then go through the map packs and that, and then we'll like start to really dig into the book. Yeah. And full disclosure, we don't have a digital PDF copy, so it's going to be a review made of Jason showing the physical book and me showing what I can of pictures that were taken, but we don't have a straight PDF, so you guys will have to deal with that. And you get what you get, you swine. Sorry, I didn't. That's my mom coming out at me. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. As much as I do my very best to give my undergraduates free access to their textbooks by giving them PDF versions of them, I like physical books more than PDFs.
Oh,
I do. I don't. I only resort to PDFs by necessity. I just love books.
No,
anyway,
I have just one thing about PDFs. I have a metric crap ton of PDFs. I never open them, never look at them. If I need something at the table or if I want to just read something, I pick up a book. I have stuff from PDF just for the ease of showing it on stream. So I completely understand, you know. Yeah.
It's behind a pane of emergency fire glass, right? Like, it's not that you're really proud of that axe and you use it all the time. It's like, no. I hope never to use the axe, in fact. So I do have not only the 5e version of the THOUROUGH deck that was released at the same time as Curse of Strahd. I also have the old 2e THOUROUGH deck. It's lost somewhere in here. I'll find it. But the new one.
Here, I'll let you flip through that while I find my set deck for comparison.
Yeah, you've got it, of course. Now, I want to say that I really like a couple of things about this new THOUROUGH deck. A couple of them are extrinsic features, and then a couple are intrinsic features. As far as intrinsic features are concerned, like I think the change in art style is pretty fun. Not everyone likes it, of course. You know, whether you like it is a matter of taste. But I think it's nice to kind of add an element of, I guess, sort of stylized art. I think that both the 2E version of the Taroka as well as the 5E version of the Taroka had like a more of a commitment to realism. The 5E version is more stylized, and I love all of them. I love them. Okay, the fact that I'm saying this is good doesn't mean I don't like the other one. I want to make that clear.
I would hope that people understand that just because we may say that, oh, this looks good, this looks great, it doesn't diminish the fact that there's love for all the other stuff too. You know?
Yeah. Let me put it this way: if I didn't love the original second edition setting and the red box set and the original printing of the original Taroka, if I didn't love that stuff so much, I would not care a rat's anus about these things. But it turns out I should, and you should care more than a rat's anus about these things. As Americans will use everything except for the metric system. Am I right?
Yeah. Jason, just so you know, Jason can't really see me. I'm holding up the 2E deck just for comparison as far as art style with the realism and stuff like that.
Oh,
just
hey,
so I can
wait. Let's pick a card.
Okay. Pick a card, any card.
Pick a card. Yeah, and I'll try to match it here.
For the chat, if you ask questions away, when we'll address any questions that you guys have. Sort of like when we have a natural breaking point and looking at stuff. I don't want to keep bombarding Jason with questions, but ask away, and we will bombard him. But I won't in turn immediately bombard you. But we will definitely get to him. We'll get to all the questions because there's.
Are you saying there's a lag on the bombarding?
Yeah, I'm saying it's bombarding. It's, you know, I see you shiver within.
Okay, great.
All right, what you got? What you got there?
I got the Beast.
The Beast. All right, let me find the Beast here.
This was a great card in both the original second edition tarot and also in the Taroka. Totally not the tarot.
Totally not tarot. Nope.
Yeah.
You throw an OK on it and everything is all of a sudden, you know, okay.
Yeah. Hey, if it's tarot, how come it ends in Oka? Checkmate.
All right, so I got a Beast here. So
here we go.
All right, so there are the two different cards. So like that, the Beast card that you have looks like a very like an artistic representation of the Beast, and then this one is more straightforward werewolfy. So, and but that just speaks to like the style of 2E. It was very you know, the gentleman who did the cards.
The one you've got looks like a horror movie poster.
Right. Yep.
I can't see it, but I'm recalling it from memory because I like that card.
That's pretty good.
But this one, it looks more like a cave. Well, not like a cave painting because there's actually a lot of color depth and stuff going on here. But it's more iconic, right? It looks more like a symbol than it does like a depiction.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It does. It feels very symbolic rather than like a straightforward representation. You know, that's
like I would place the Taroka decks maybe on a spectrum where like on one end you've got the 2E version and it's like aiming towards something similar to photorealism, and then like on some other end you could have a hypothetical Taroka deck where it's just like, I don't know, Barovian runes,
right? Yeah,
like vague symbols, kind of.
Hey, you know what they never brought back out? The Dishka dice. Remember the Dishka dice? Oh, they came with the original 2E set. They were 5 dice with different rune symbols on them in different colors, and they were released with the I believe it was the black box set, and they only did it with the original black box version because nobody ever used them.
Yeah, because those didn't return for the red box or anything, and they weren't even revived in the 90s heyday of like Dragon Dice and the dice games.
No, they were completely irrelevant, and they only came out with the black. I've got a set. I'll pull them out somewhere.
Okay, are you asking that because you have those things?
I do have those things. Yes. I mean, I'll dig them out, but I don't want to spend time digging for them right now, but I will. All right. So,
point is, let's look at a couple more cards. Yep. Why don't we look at the Tax Collector? That's someone that everyone loves, right?
The Tax Collector? Yeah. You pay those taxes. Oh, what was his name in Istrad?
I think he's the Seven of Coins or something.
Let's see. Tax Collector. The Tax Man.
Seven of Thieves.
7. All right. 985. Oh, it would help if I had these in order. 6, 7. I didn't do that. Forget it. I did that.
No, you did. It's cool. Look, I mean, what's today's date, right? Like, this is on purpose.
Oh, that's right. Oh, very good. I got the charlatan, the hooded man, the thief. And...
We also, by the way, we also have kind of like a gothic black letter font here, which, like, like the German black letter, its ornamentality competes with its legibility. Like it's almost like graffiti or like Islamic calligraphy or something, where the text itself is also a work of art. So you read it while also being like, look at the shapes.
So it's not, it's not just it's not just what you can read. It's how it sort of feels for you. All right, so here we go. So text.
It's a little work of art in the text.
Yeah. There's the tax collector from.
There we go.
2E. Yeah, the styles are very unique. But I think they're both interesting. I
mean, your version, if I'm not mistaken, he's like at the door asking for coins or something.
Yeah, he's
like
that. Again, you're 2 for 2. That's fantastic. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, Jason is pulling these from his memory mind. He can't see what I'm holding up. So, and that, in fact, we do have an old man there visiting somebody at the door and dropping some coinage in his hand there.
As opposed to this motherfucker who apparently came when you solved the puzzle box from hell or whatever. Like, this is like I don't know which is scarier. One of them, I guess, is more grimdark, and the other one is fantasy. But I don't want someone to demand my coins at the door, but I also don't want, you open the box. Yeah. We came.
We have so many delights to show you.
We are explorers on the further reaches of experience.
So
hey, shout out to Clive Barker.
What else? I've never. Well, side note, I've never seen Hellraiser.
Oh, it's a good ghost story. Yeah. Like it's a ghost story, and then kind of like the twist that everyone now knows has to do with the hell dimension stuff. But like early on, it's kind of like a couple are moving in, and this lady can't stop getting visions of a guy who died there. Oh, and it takes control and stuff. It actually has a pretty mundane beginning and builds up to some.
Is it one of those series? Is it one of those series that started out relatively grounded, but then just sort of?
Yeah.
All right. So those are the two Taroka. Those are the two Taroka decks. So what we got here? It's got its very own screen.
Yeah, the DM screen.
Yeah.
And here I think I want to compliment a kind of lack of innovation. So the art I think is beautiful. This is gorgeous. It's a lot of spooky things that don't belong here exactly, but if you take a look, like in between them, you notice there's like the Ravenloft mists and stuff. So it's like, this famous landmark shouldn't be next to this famous mansion or the famous castle, but then you also have like these kind of like misty transitions, and that's cool.
No, I like that. Yeah, you have to give a little bit when of course they don't exist right next to each other in world, but you can always. It's just art, baby. I like that's a DM screen on dark mode. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
It's got dark mode on and Halloween colors. They know who this appeals to. Fucking green and purple and like this is how you decorate your house for Halloween. Is this color scheme? And
I will say I'm really excited to see that the cover of the book, Ravenloft, is actually in a different font. It kind of harkens back to when they had the stylized Ravenloft piece that looked like had all the 3 points on it, and it had Ravenloft with the red. This the
3D stone carved letters that looked like they were plastered on this like red painted wooden board.
Yes. So it was nice to see some style coming back to the word, Ravenloft instead of white blank text.
The book itself has got a lot of that. But one thing I want to say is that for the most part, this is just a very, very good DM screen. It has what you want in a DM screen in the sense of like conditions, updated conditions for 5.5, updated kind of armor classes, default hit points for objects that someone might punch. Like if you've got a Tyler in your party who wants to punch the drywall.
Right? Oh, that's good. I like that. That's interacting.
But then,
what's that?
The magic Ravenloft whoa, shit, I got too close to the mic there.
Okay.
The Magic Ravenloft part is this table. And what this is it's a table of Tarokka cards that are associated with random monster encounters.
So
that are kind of Ravenloft appropriate.
Oh,
it's also
so you
reprinted
could... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's also reprinted in the book, and there's also another use for the Tarokka deck that I really like that isn't here on the screen, unfortunately, but is for the book, so we'll talk about that. But yes, you can use the Tarokka deck itself as basically like a random encounter table.
That's fantastic.
Which is cool, because you could do that in-universe, too.
Right.
Madame Eva says, this thing, and then sure
enough the monster's there. So it's like you're... See, I really like that, because that one thing, I loved the Tarokka deck. I did, but it felt very like, you felt like you had to really take time to develop what you wanted to do with the Tarokka deck in game, and you sort of had to stack the deck because you had to know what you wanted. Oh, this is the Esper, and this. So you kind of had to stack it. But with something like that, you could literally, it plays out however the cards play out. That's good. I like that, and I do love a table. I love a chart. I love a good chart.
Oh yeah. I want to agree with you entirely there. That although you could absolutely sell me a Tarokka deck in the 90s on the grounds that it was like a spooky card deck. But in all of the Ravenloft campaigns I ran, including through 5e, I felt like okay, unless there's some kind of fortune telling NPC scene where they use the Tarokka decks to tell their fortunes, I don't have a lot of use for this in game. It's kind of a cool prop. I love the theme. I love the imagery. But like the way to use it, I mean, we get one use in Curse of Strahd, and then that's kind of it throughout 5e.
Yeah.
And that suggests that, and as you pointed out, and as is now kind of orthodoxy among Curse of Strahd DMs, you kind of have to stack the deck anyway.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because you don't want them... Okay, the last thing you want is for their companion to be Sir Klutz Tripolotsky, the incompetent ghost from the bottom level of Ravenloft's crypts, and then all of the treasures they need to find are also in Castle Ravenloft, conveniently hidden under the one throne in the audience chamber on the second floor.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing that can happen, and you don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Right? So...
Yeah, you still want it to have some sort of controllability.
Yeah. So this deck, as you're pointing out, or as we're pointing out, I guess this deck kind of leans into the possibility of randomness and stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a great secondary use for that. That's
it also. I'm just gonna spoil this. Two other uses for the deck that are suggested in the book are one, if your players wander into the mists, there are there are cards associated with certain domains, right?
Okay.
That's so like if you wanted to, you could take the major arcana and ignore the rest of it and just draw a card if you really want them to enter a random domain. But better than that, and I love this. I love this. So not only is there a Tarokka card associated with every Ravenloft Domain of Dread, but there's also an anti-card, like an opposed card. And what that means is that if there's ever a Tarokka reading, and you draw that card, and you place it, that means that the Dark Lord of the domain is tuning into your reading and can even speak on through the Tarokka reader.
So it opens. So the opposite card opens up like a channel almost to the to the Dark Lord.
Yeah. So if you're Madame,
that's great.
If you're Madame Eva and you're telling their fortune in Barovia and you play that card, suddenly Strahd will start speaking through Madame Eva, or at least can. Right. At any other Dark Lord.
Yeah. At the very least, he's super tuned in and paying attention. That's
You don't have to jump in and be the star of the show or anything, but it's like an opportunity.
I never really, after all the times I've used those over the years, I never really thought about that as an option. It's good that they've given the cards more uses in game.
And just to be clear, none of these are like. I mean, although I want to give WotC's writers more on that soon, but I want to give everyone credit. But like I also want to acknowledge these are not things that would have been impossible for homebrewers to think of.
Right.
They're just really elegant versions of things that homebrewers could have thought of if they worked really hard for a while. It's a very clear case of them doing some work for you as a convenience for a GM. Like is this a cool new rule for Tarot cards? But all right. Okay.
The one
so
thing
I have to get
one second. That's just where we're talking about like homebrew and I love homebrew. Obviously, made a career out of it, but there is something to seeing a rule or a guideline or something like that in print, right? It is something.
Yeah.
It is something to seeing that like officially canon, where it like almost becomes, not that it's more acceptable, but like it almost carries another air of legitimacy. Like if you were a homebrewer and you said, "Oh, I use my cards for this," somebody would be inclined to like give their opinion. I'll take it, leave it. But when you see it in print as like official, it does carry more weight. So I'm glad that they are additive in this edition rather than, my biggest concern was going to be almost a direct reprint of Van Richten's guide. That was my biggest concern, at the time.
And we'll get to this. Unfortunately, there are a couple passages that are basically copy pasted from Van Richten's guide.
Yeah.
But also, in defense of them, there are things like the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry if you buy a D&D book for the introduction, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
The actual stuff in there is different and it's clearly like written anew. There are other criticisms one might have. But,
it wouldn't have. It was the same thing that happened with the black box and the red box. That was almost a direct reprint. So with a little bit. Some of that's like, if there's not much to change, you shouldn't change everything just for the sake of change. But yeah, I'm sorry. Now continue. Go ahead.
Oh, I wanted to point out first. I think someone dropped into our Discord to say hi and ask a question. If so, please join up.
They back that. Well, if you come to the Discord, just jump in the call in waiting channel. The other channel's on air. When you have a question, we'll bring you in, but we'll open it up once we get through the books and stuff like that. So that way. But
also, hey, hear me out. I love doing spooky card readings when I run, fantasy horror campaigns, and I don't really run other kinds of campaigns. If it doesn't have horror in it, I guess I'm just not interested. But my favorite storytelling trope, prop use, when you're doing a scary card reading, right? Because you're placing this card and that card, and they're, especially if you have the right language, it's foreboding and eerie, and people are on board like, oh, what, the two-headed lizard? What, And then at the very end, right, you place a card which is like covered in blood, or fucking burnt up, or it just has, or something that surprises even the dealer of said cards, like even the Vishtani who's dealing is like, oh, what happened? Right. Like it's a really awesome jump scare. It's a really wonderful storytelling trope to communicate that there's some kind of unprecedented danger. It communicates that the fortune telling protection, that they've got is not enough for whatever lies at the end of their path. It's so cool. And damn it, they did it.
Did they?
They included a fucking card covered in blood.
Oh, get the hell out of here. Heck out of here. Sorry. That's great.
And a fucking lava ashen hell card, too.
And that's in the official Tarot deck for the...
These are just... Dude, and you can't tell that these are they based on the backs of the cards.
That's great.
It's so cool.
That is really a cool addition. Oh, Jason, I know you can't see it. Gabriel just popped up and said hi, everyone.
Yo.
Yeah, Gabe. Thank you for thanks for stopping by, Gabe. It's good to see you. Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, well, he's not in. He's just in the chat. He's just the comments.
Hey, let's give a quick moment of recognition to Hour of the Raven as one of the few keepers of the older Ravenloft lore online who, just kind of like reminds us all where this came from. It's really nice.
Gabe, I've told Gabe before, if it wasn't for him, I probably would have never decided to switch from doing regular D&D content to go on to specifically Ravenloft. No, regardless of how much I loved Ravenloft and like lived it my whole life, it was, you know, watching Gabriel's content and Hour of the Raven, like it can be viable, you know, and it's such a, you know, everybody I've met who's done Ravenloft content, yourself, Gabriel, oh god, I'm blanking on some other names. Yeah, it's really, everybody's great and very friendly and very accommodating, and for a horror setting, there certainly are some nice people involved. I tell you that much. Not like those Forgotten Realms jagoffs. God, these get such attitudes. Yeah, it's Zastam. Shut up. Nobody cares about your magic flying cities that had 11th level magic that obliterated themselves. We care about vampires.
As much as I would love to see like inter WotC setting rivalries with like gangs snapping their fingers for Dark Sun or whatever. I agree with you that fans not only of the Ravenloft setting, but fans of horror fiction generally tend to betray the expectations that you have if you would judge them based on the media they enjoy, right? Or we enjoy,
right?
I should say. Like a lot of, I don't just enjoy grisly, goofy, gross gopher guts stuff, but also, you know, very, very negative and pessimistic philosophical literature like Thomas Ligotti and stuff. And at the same time, I fancy myself being rather philanthropic in the sense that I like people. I like to be friendly to people when I can.
Yeah, it's that nice surprise that I found getting to know people in the community, the horror community in general too. So,
it's like how every heavy metal fan really loves kitty cats, you know?
Yes, 'tis true. Oh, all right. So we got the Taroko deck. Anything else? Anything else you want to take a look at there before we move on to the?
We got some maps.
All right. Give it a map, Scott. Give me the map, Scott.
I think this is some kind of. All right, we got snow. We got. I don't know what this is, but it looks very pretty.
Yeah.
It's some kind of subterranean dungeon, and then on the other side we have Midsummer. This is our Midsummer map. We got the Sacrificial Hill. We got a cabin with blood in it. It's wilderness. It's rustic. It's definitely Midsummer.
We've got a cheating boyfriend in a bear costume getting ready to be burned to death.
Oh yeah,
that was Midsummer. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you know what? I think this is a pyramid. It has a lot of this kind of. They did this weird kind of like ancient tech.
A little bit further back. There you go. No. Yeah, that's fine there. It just kind of got fuzzed out when you were close, but yeah, you can see it there. That's good.
Yeah, we'll get to this when we get to the book, but they have this kind of ancient tech view of Harakir.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Harakir is like kind of it's like Stargate. You know, if you remember
yes,
Stargate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right? so Harakir was originally Egypt, but now they're adapting it to the wider legends of possibly created by aliens.
The country of Egypt is not anywhere to be seen or heard from any more than like, you know, Germany is for Tepisht or whatever. But the idea is like there seems to be kind of more of a sci-fi vibe to whatever Onktopod is up to. Mm-hmm. Here we have, of course, you need a graveyard. You need a graveyard.
Now, are these specific places or are these just general?
We have a spooky gothic castle that is covered in blood. Just spooky gothic castle. Obviously not Castle Ravenloft. You can't.
I'm assuming these are meant to be placed down and used as tabletop like gaming. These are
battle maps.
They're battle maps officially. Okay.
Yeah, I would not place one of these at my table with the intent of the PCs to explore the place.
Right.
Instead, I would take a look at what's on the map, describe it, use theater of mind for the PCs to explore it, and then once they get into the fight at the center of the thing or whatever, then you pull it out and say like, look, here's where you are. Here's the dining room, and here's the garage with the Lambos or whatever. Yeah. Right. This is like a series of ritual chambers. I love me a ritual chamber.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lab over here. We got some lower plane stuff going on, tech stuff, and then on the other side, it looks like we've got kind of this is clearly a haunted mansion sort of map.
Mm-hmm.
This is like you're in Mordant or something, right?
Huh.
A
That's
little
cool.
more subtle. There's a bunch of mist and fog on the edges, but you don't see like the dining room doesn't look like it's part of a Rob Zombie concert or anything with like
Right.
severed limbs or whatever. What else we got? I think we have couple more. There are quite a few. There are like 10 maps in the map pack. There's quite a few.
Really?
Like I'm not somebody who uses these sorts of maps in person because I normally play online. But like if you're into this, you are getting a lot for your money or whatever. Like there's like 10 maps.
I like playing online, but I do love having the maps, physical maps to look at and stuff like that. But
even more than 10, because some of them are like split into 2 or more locations, like this one where you've got like, I don't know, Baba Yaga's hut or something over here, and then you've got like subterranean tunnels of death or whatever over here, and you've got like scary forest on the other side. All right, let me show the last one real fast. I feel like it's taking forever.
No, you're good.
The book.
No, it's hey,
right.
I don't know about you, but I'm definitely interested in looking at all this ancillary stuff too. So, and
then finally we've got what do we got? Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, hell yeah. All right, this is Eldritch Horror. You're inside of a body. You're in the far realm.
Oh.
You're in Cthulhu's, dimension of Relaya. You're in August Derlith's version of Lost Carcosa. You're this is the spooky Squidland alien dimension. Hell, you could be abducted in the domain of Blitzburg and show up here. This is like the alien horror map. They gave you one. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And are the most of these maps sort of generalized, or are some of them very like specific locations?
Oh, they're all general.
Okay.
There are no proper nouns. None of them are labeled. And in the book, I did not see any like references. And I think that's good too.
No, that's great.
I would have been disappointed if the book was like, "Hey, if you buy the map pack," and be like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
They didn't do that. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like these are just kind of extra fun things. They've got like a scary church and like ruins here.
Yeah.
And then finally, there's like a bunch of cardboard tokens. So they pop out real easy, and they're pretty tough. They're nice tokens. I won't go through all of them, but it's generally like a lot of gothic monsters and NPCs. Some of them are like villagers from Curse of Strahd, like, those bluish hued NPCs that don't have souls or whatever. Some of them are like, we got scarecrows, we got wights, we got mummies, we got ghost pirates, we got slasher horror characters. Of course, we have wolves and vampires and skeletons. It's a nice move to sell physical tokens with the maps. I mean, as long as people are going to be using physical maps, you may as well give them something to put on them. So anyway, that's the last of the ancillary, supplemental, secondary stuff. Do you want to get into the book?
What do you think, guys?
Right.
Hey, Jason, before we get into the book, hang on. Let's go answer some questions. We got some questions to catch up on. Asking all them questions. All right. So the chat. Let's scroll back here. Right here. Our shirt. We got that one. Let's see. Speaking to. All right. Hercules 5416 asked you if, speaking of tarot and Taroka, is there a particular style of tarot deck that you think would be suitable for Ravenloft? I would imagine that Ravenloft being as verbose as it is, there's probably lots of styles that could work.
Okay.
But, yes.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, again, you are watching our presentation of the early look-through of Ravenloft The Horrors Within. Wasqualeed, Wajo to 1-1 and Wabbit. Mowage is what brings us here together. Sorry.
So, I've been in love with I've been in love with the novella Black Brain, and one of the many things that's fun about it, I wouldn't say the most fun, although it's very fun. The fun is the text. Read books, but it has this. This is a brand new cover here, but it has these folds and spots. It has deliberate, like
deliberate aging.
Okay. Yeah, like this is my here's my father's copy of Jean-Paul Sartre's Nausea, right? Right. All these little speckles and things, they weren't there, these lines and stuff, when it was sold new.
Yeah, this shows how loved it is.
New, and it's got like all this fake aging stuff. I would love to see that on a Tarokka deck. Like, I know that sounds strange, but I think it would be neat if in the production of a Tarokka deck there was this effort to make it look as though you have found a very, very old, forgotten thing. Right? Like this thing, kind of like found footage horror when it has the VHS strips or something. Like, I'd really love to see like a Tarokka deck that someone forgot a long time ago and you just found it, and it's not in the best shape. And that makes that part of the art style rather than selling someone a bad Tarokka deck.
Right. Well,
that's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Is that kind of.
I like that style. It feels, it feels like this is something that's gone through many, many hands, not just yours and your accomplices. So
whatever magic might have been conferred by repeated dealings across fortune-telling tables, like water on a prayer wheel, right? This aged thing has it. Yeah, man.
All right. Let's. I think we're ready to get into the book. What about you? How you doing? You need good? You need some water? You any good? You good?
I've got my Athletic Brewing Company Free Wave Hazy IPA non-alcoholic beer, so I'm doing okay.
Oh, how's it taste? How's it taste?
I think as well, I don't know. I mean, I'm talking about non-alcoholic beers, so I think it tastes great. I think it's fine, and helping me on my journey and everything. But good
journey, Goldor.
I wouldn't say, hey, you know what really tastes good? Like, I wouldn't,
You're not selling it like that, huh? Gangrel, how's it going, buddy?
Okay.
How's it going? Alrighty. So we're getting into the book, right? Getting into the book.
So I got the alternative art cover. I do like the new font for, Ravenloft The Horrors Within. One thing I want to mention right off the bat is the art. All of the art in this is amazing. It's very, very, very captivating. They worked very hard to make some of it scary. Not all of it is G-rated or even PG-13 rated. There's some downright R-rated stuff in here. Really? So those of you who say, "Oh, WotC is going soft. WotC is turning D&D into Disney," no, they're not.
Man,
this is a horror book. It's fantasy horror, but like there's scary stuff in here. Let me begin with this. I just love this Victorian pattern in the inside cover. We have, as you can see, like at the top and the bottom of this emblem, we have ravens, and then on the left and right, we've got bats, and then we've got the symbol of ravenkind in the center. And it looks like we've got a clock here, and it's designed in the way that Victorian wallpaper was designed. I love it. Little detail. They didn't have to do this, but they did. It was great. I love it. So the book has basically 5 sections, right? The first section is aside from the introduction. The introduction is also its own thing. Like I mentioned, it's mostly what you found in Van Richten's guide. But although there's cooler art, there is that. The chapter 1's the character options. We have some subclasses: the Artificer Reanimator, the College of Spirits Bard, the Grave Domain Cleric, the Hollow Warden Ranger, the Phantom Rogue, Shadow Sorcery Sorcerer, and Undead Patron Warlock. Both because a lot of these were classes from 5e that needed to be ported into 5.5, and also because I so seldomly run PCs in D&D. I'm usually the DM. I didn't really scrutinize these parts. I don't think I sent you any pictures of them because I was like, just
Yeah.
In the attic of my local bookstore, trying to be like, we got four new backgrounds: the Haunted One, Investigators, Mist Wanderer, Spirit Medium, and we have this. So among species, I'm glad they kind of did this. They just broke down and said, "All right, fine. You want to be a werewolf? That's your species or lineage." Now, they just let Lupin be a thing that you've got, right? I think that's a lot better because before it was sort of like, if you want to role play a werewolf, either you do like Path of the Beast barbarian stuff, or you kind of just rely on your DM to homebrew some stuff for you or whatever. I mean, there were some suggestions in Van Richten's guide, but it was also like an extra thing you template onto your PC. Here on top of it, kind of like you can build it from the ground up and without availing yourself to any additional mechanics beyond 5.5's complexity. You can be a werewolf. We got the Dampier, Hexblood, Lupin, and Reborn. The way that they talk about the Reborn, too, in Van Richten's guide, the Reborn was basically like you were a Frankenstein's monster. They kind of weighted it that way. But in this, they're much more open to the possibility that you're a zombie or a revenant or whatever. You're basically a corporeal undead of some kind. All right.
That's good. I mean, it's interesting that you can be straight. You don't have to sort of graft something on top of it. You're good.
I want to compliment the layout design of this book. This is impeccable. Like it just looks so cool. You have a lot of the pages are, as you would say, in dark mode, in the sense that they're black, white text on black. There's a lot of that, and it's not just like an arbitrary thing. Like it wasn't some unattentive executive with a cigar, like just do it dark mode. Right? like there's kind of a way in which they balance the legibility of darker text on lighter background, but then sort of punctuated it with oh man, they did really well with the freaking Dark Lord sections.
Yeah, that looks great. That finally, it's been a while since I've seen a picture of Strahd that like evokes that nastiness. I don't know, that's a good picture of him. Yeah.
But every Dark Lord spread is kind of a sort of black on white, or sorry, white on black thing, and it has this huge artistic illustration.
Ivana Borstein.
They leaned into the poison ivy thing, which is interesting because in Van Richten's guide nobody mentioned that, but I swear a certain YouTuber might have. I'm kidding. What do you think? Do you want to let me pause, ask about questions?
All right.
Whether you've got questions. Oh, hey, here's the first page. This is the we got a scary gothic gargoyle dragon thing.
Hold on a second. That's the opening page, huh? Yeah, I dig the black background. I dig the dark mode. That does a little something extra to it right off the bat. That's cool. I like that.
Looks like he's about to join Goliath on an adventure from that animated series from the 90s, Gargoyles.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
So so as before in Van Richten's guide, we get like a smattering of domains of dread, and they're sort of laid out in detail. And what kind of detail we'll get to in a second. Okay. And then after that, we have like a sort of list of domains that are just given a couple paragraphs. So that's kind of how it was in Van Richten's, right? Like you would get, big sections on Haslin and Valachan, and then you get like smaller stuff for Sire 1313 and Forlorn. And so for the most part, that's the same. They have switched out a couple of domains. So we get a couple of new domains, and we get a domain that was previously relegated to a blurb in Van Richten's guide, but which now has its own entry.
Do you want to
right?
Do you want to give us a list of the domains, or do you just want to highlight a few?
Oh, I can. I'll list them. Okay. So the domains of dread that have really thorough, really thorough entries are Barovia, Borka, Darkon, Demonlieu, Falkovnia, Har Akir, Haslin, Innsmouth, Kalikari, Kartakas, Lamordia, Mordant, Shadowlands, Sithicus, Tepest, Valachan, and then you've got the list of other domains of dread. But I would say the new ones are Innsmouth and where's the other one? Sithicus. And then you've also got the Shadowlands. So what's interesting is that they're all new, but there are degrees of newness, right? So like Innsmouth is just, you know, we'll get to that, but it's kind of a new edition completely. There's no precedent for it really in any previous version of Ravenloft. Sithicus, he was present in previous versions of Ravenloft, but not mentioned in Van Richten's guide.
Right. I think there was a small reference to it in Clore, right? They said when it was being eaten.
Yeah.
He alluded to it, but it definitely wasn't there. You know,
there's a wink and a nod. And then you have the Shadowlands, which were not only in previous versions of Ravenloft and not only mentioned in Van Richten's guide, but which didn't yet have their own thing, right? Their own big expose entry. So I feel like they've got like sort of across the different ways you could have been missed out, like you could have been passed over by Van Richten's guide, right? Like it could be that it could be that Van Richten's guide failed because it didn't have any totally new domains. It could be that Van Richten's guide failed because it forgot everyone's favorite second edition domain.
There was no Cthulhu.
Or it could be Van Richten's guide failed because I wanted to see more about the Shadowlands or something, right? like they I feel like they took each kind of critique and grabbed a representative and
it didn't.
With it.
To answer the question, it didn't fail. He's just sort of giving that as an example. Like I don't think.
I like Van Richten's guide, but I'm trying to think from the perspective of somebody who's like, I want to improve upon.
Yeah.
I don't want people to complain about this. So what do I do to avoid it? Kind of thing.
Can I go back to the white? Can I go back to the dark mode for a second there, where we're talking about the white text on the black background and stuff like that?
Oh yeah.
So what it reminded me of was I'm holding up the Redbox book right now, the guide, and how it has the black marbling around the edges and the white text and that was so cool. So it's almost reminiscent of that. You almost get that callback to, it's not exactly the same, but you have those big swaths of black around the text like you did in the second edition book. So and I was trying to figure out, I was like, why do I like that look so much? Like, why does that seem so appealing? And
this book is not afraid to be ink heavy. Like, I swear, like the quality of paper is like a grade up from what was in the Forgotten Realms book. And I don't think it was just like WotC saying, let's use nicer paper. I think it's because there's just so much damn art in this thing. It's like every single page.
That's good.
That it's like you couldn't print it on a lower quality paper without it bleeding everywhere. It really feels like an art book.
So Hercules asked a question. If it includes a core again, or if everything's still in Island of Terror. And I know that there's I don't think there's a map of the core per se, but they do suggest that if you want to, you can sort of cluster up some of the domains and the mist act as borders. Yes. So they've sort of started walking back that everything's a complete separate island. Like they've sort of given you tacit permission to start linking up a bunch of the domains, but they have not provided a structured map for you. So it's from my understanding. I haven't actually looked through the book yet. That's just from some of the stuff that I've seen.
Yeah, so I would say that the new book includes sort of a deference and or not deference. It includes kind of a reverential mention to older stuff. So here's the thing. All right, just let me say this as a preface before I tell you what's in here. There is a lot of talk among the Ravenloft diehard fandom, and I am a diehard Ravenloft fan. I would not love this so much were I not obsessed with the 90s red box set. I love that shit, okay? But there's this obsession with the core, the core. The core.
Yeah.
What's happening to the core? Did they destroy the core? And I just want to say, and forgive me for a little bit of one-upsmanship, but what about the Grand Conjunction?
Mm-hmm.
There's more than one version of the core. There's more than one core.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how would the hardcore, pun intended now, I guess, because recognized, how would the hardcore 2E fans feel about those, you know, those whose hearts really bleed for the pre-Grand Conjunction stuff, and who angrily dismissed anything thereafter, and who said, like, I can't believe they're not going back to before the Grand Conjunction. Wow, I can't believe.
Yeah.
It just seems silly, right?
It's like,
right?
It's like what's with this shadow rift? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, like,
why is there? What happened to Eric? Where did Eric go? Like, and why is Nathan Timothy not a Dark Lord anymore? Why is he riding a riverboat? And what happened? Why is Borsty and her cousin now in one domain? That seems stupid. Yeah, there's always. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Given the fact that the original setting was changing all the time and that there were many versions of the core, I think
while it was being written. While it was being written.
While it was being written, I think it's not just conciliatory, but even kind of more accurate to say, hey, DMs, you should feel free to not only restore the core if you want, but restore a bunch of cores, make a bunch of clusters, make islands of terror, or keep them separate, right? Yeah. And that's their take. So let me quickly read what we've got here. Okay. Hey, apologies if my rant was a little invective, but.
Oh no, that's fine, honey child. I don't even know what that means.
We've got a section on using domains of dread, and it begins with Ravenloft setting models, and I'm just going to read this one paragraph. It says, "What the domains compose." Oh, sorry, excuse me, I misread. Let me start again.
Okay.
What domains compose the Ravenloft setting is up to you. The domains of dread have no definitive map or prescribed orientation for how they relate to one another. This allows you to shape the setting however best serves your adventures. Consider the following setting models for how you might use the domains of dread or use your favorite elements from multiple domains. And then we get 4 options. Option 1, Haunted House Domain. In this model, a single domain functions like a haunted house. Characters enter, terrifying forces trap them, and the party struggles to escape. Right? This is kind of like 2nd edition Weekend in Hell, arguably kind of like the original I6 Ravenloft. The idea is that on your way to collect fairy treasure for defeating goblins or whatever, you get sucked into the mists and have to fight Dracula.
Yeah.
But, you go back to the thing.
But then you go back to your normal life afterwards. Yep.
Yeah, so that's the first one, is Haunted House Domain. Second one is Islands of Terror. In this model, the domains of dread are isolated realms that characters might reach by braving the mists. Domain's inhabitants might be aware of each other, but travel is uncommon and dangerous. Characters might be inhabitants of a domain or wayward souls from other realms, and events might lead them through the mists to other nightmarish lands. Right? So here's the idea where you're going to concede that, once you're trapped in the mists, and you try to escape, you're not going to go back to the prime material plane. You'll just end up in another nightmare, right? So this is kind of like the version where all the haunted houses that you care to include are connected, right? That, like, you can jump into the haunted house from outside the haunted house, but once you're in the haunted house, there's just other haunted houses to go to, at least until the DM wants to let you go or whatever, to get back to them fairies or whatever.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, what everyone's waiting for, option 3, clusters and cores. I'm going to correct a little grammar mistake as I read here. All right. In this model, the domains of dread are similar to countries on a globe. The mists mark the edges of the world, rise when Dark Lords close their domain's borders and appear as they please, but otherwise, domains are separated by geographical and political borders. Domain inhabitants know about one another, travel, and trade, while Dark Lords are powerful figures that might have political or warlike aspirations. Whether you create a cluster out of a small group of your favorite domains, or meld many, or all, the domains into a continent-sized core, is up to you. This is the model largely used in earlier explorations of the setting, including Ravenloft Realm of Terror 1990 and Domains of Dread 1997. And then the last one is Gothic Earth, which they said like is, hey, if you want to take some of these ideas, turn it into an Earth-like setting, and then, run with that. That's the fourth option. But let no one say that they just excluded mention of the older version of running things, or ignored it, or obliterated it, or erased it all, or anything. Like they say you can do core stuff, and then they include references to the older stuff that you can get on DM's Guild if you're so inclined. I think some people might, if they're really committed to it, they might complain that the default setting isn't the core when it should be, or whatever. I don't know how to respond to that. I feel as though,
do what you will at your table should be the whole of the law. So like I love a good core. I love a good cluster. I love a good house domain. So one of my favorite domains is Life, the what's his name? Baron von Evensong. He's a lute player. His domain is his study, and it's in his house. So he goes into the study. He has one big meal which sustains him for 100 years. Anybody who eats at the meal, depending on how much they eat, can make it like their natural lifespan, give or take a few years, depending on how much they ate. Yeah. He's never made it. And one night in his room is 100 years to him, and it's only one day to the outside world. So he invites people over to spend as long as they can with him. And it's like it was a short. It's in it's in the Book of Crypts. Yep, it's a short.
And it's called the Dark Minstrel.
Yes,
right?
It's called the Dark Minstrel. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one of my favorite little one-shots. It's a Domain of Dread that
it's one
of many. Was this written by Slade Henson? Am I misremembering? Or is this another Smedman joint?
I think it was Lisa Smedman. I thought. I could be wrong, though. I mean, I could check it when... I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal right now, but I can double check it. Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, I was gonna dive back there too, but I had to pull out behind the green screen. Yours is. Oh, look at that! Look at that crisp copy. Nary a fold. That's fantastic. The cover's in good shape.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to be pejorative there. That's not a bad sign. I'm just saying, I'm like, you didn't read it.
Strangely enough, a lot of my RPG books are very well kept, despite me not treating them as collector's items. I've just kind of, I use them and then I reshelve them and I don't touch them otherwise, and so it kind of keeps them. It's like a car that you only
take out of the garage on the weekends.
Yeah. But in any case, So let's see. The Dark Minstrel. That's the third one, page 21. Man, this is a favorite of mine too. I actually rewrote a version of it for Phantasms of Sri Raji.
I performed it as a LARP when we would go medieval camping because it was a nice one shot. I actually built a glockenspiel, and I set up a tent that it was like his room, and we did it as a live action role because it's easy to do. You just I made a whole bunch of books, and you just had them exploring the thing, and they figured it out. It was awesome.
I think this is Dale. I got his first name wrong. This is Dale Henson and J. Robert King. It's a Slade Henson and Robert King joint. J. Robert King.
So it wasn't Smedman. Okay. Yeah.
This also has, I know, right? Like, because there are like two standalone Ravenloft adventures from 2E that I run a lot. One of them is the Dark Minstrel, and the other one is the Taskmaster's Leash from Chilling Tales. And the Taskmaster's Leash is a Lisa Smedman one. But because there are only two, like there's only a couple of 2E adventures that I routinely run. I confuse the options.
Oh, mine's a created. If I need to run a one shot or a 1.5 shot, especially on a holiday, I'll run the created all day long. I could run the created without a book at this point. I just remember the beats from the axe and Faliglio and all kinds of stuff. Even if I do murder his name, then
There's no wrong
tangent.
way.
Nah, there's no wrong way to say figlio. There's no wrong way.
Figlio.
Okay, chat. Thank you very much for thank you very much for putting up with our tangents chats. We just what happens with Jason. I get to talk at Ravenloft. Yeah. I don't think they mind. To be honest with you.
So when it comes to chlor, the entry for chlor, right? You mentioned how in Van Richten's guide, chlor had a reference to Scythicus, right?
Yep.
So what's in the cosmic toilet now, right? Like what's chlor gonna eat, right? Okay, so those who dwell on the crumbling islands trapped in the domain count the hours until their end. Few know how they came to chlor, or when new islands get added to the cycle, only that the mists closed in and doomed them. Here we go. Amid the realm's surreal skies float the ruins of lost domains. Among them, a city of skulls, a realm overrun by dogs, and an array of bloody iron arenas. Echoes of domains that exist elsewhere, and the domains of dread also drift here. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so we got 3, right? We got a city of skulls.
That's gotta be the Burning Peaks, right? Or Caviticus?
Cavitus?
Yeah, I think so.
The Vecna one.
Yeah.
Right. Right. This being like, hey, Vecna still isn't a Dark Lord. Get fucked, right? It's in chlor, right? And then we've got a realm overrun by dogs. Did we ever have a dog domain? Didn't get adapted. I
don't remember dog domain.
Here's why we need chat. Was there ever like a jackal domain or a coyote domain? Maybe
I could throw my friend Matt
Mastiff domain.
Mastiff domain. I don't. It's not ringing a bell.
Garfield is the Dark Lord. Hang on, I'm gonna Google
there's lots of the werewolf domains, so it's like whether you're just talking about dogs. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably just like, hey, we don't have a. I would expect maybe Fraternity of Shadows or something would have like a thing where it's like, actually, for 3 seconds in the year 1998, there was briefly a totally a domain run by jackal wares.
Shout out Fraternity of Shadows. Like if you guys ever
legit.
Mm-hmm.
I tease, but this is good natured ripping. I would expect them to pull out something from I expect them to pull out something from the second monstrous compendium for Ravenloft for 2nd edition. The one that was only published in like a spiral binder 3-hole punch thing. Yeah. And like it only had boss monsters and like NPCs that were like they had like a samurai vampires. Like they had the stats for Athekitha or whatever the vampire illithid.
Yeah,
I'd expect them from. All right, if
those books were great.
Jackalware, Dark Lord, or like a Jackal domain or a Wolf domain. It's not Cardicast because we got Cardicast in here, right?
Yeah, and that's Wolfware, so that's it can't be Cardicast. It's Wolf.
We do have so
Pharrell,
I think
Pharrell. Hergel's coming in hot. He says it's Farelle. Feral. That sounds.
I wonder if this is from like a Dragon magazine article or something.
I don't know. I have to look. I'll have to. But at least we have a name to go with now.
Pharrell Ravenloft. Get me. Okay, Mistopedia Fraternity of Shadows has it, as I predicted they would if anyone does. An Island of Terror.
Realm of Terror, page 83. Ooh, he's quick.
Okay. Hang on. Right.
See, this is why I like streaming with you, Jason. I don't have to turn around as quick and grab my book. You're already on it.
We got. All right. Was it Islands of Terror?
Realm of Terror. Realm of
Terror.
Check Islands of Terror, page 50. Check that first. I'm trying to remember what. Yeah, 83. Oh, Realm of Terror. That's this book. Hold on, I got that already out. 83.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one
Yeah,
might
no,
be the one that
yeah,
you
that is,
referenced.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Uh,
83 is Nazos, which I did a video on already
all right, it's got to be
with
the.
Melis Scalaris.
So it's the original black box one, not the red box one. I got the black. I've got this is the black box book.
Yeah,
I got to grab the or this
that's
is a red
one
box.
ancient.
Yeah.
That's one ancient grimoire I don't have. I never
Oh,
got the black box. I
oh.
started with the red box.
I tell you
I'm a
what,
poser.
you're not a poser. Stop. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're just late to the party, Richter.
Totally.
All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna solo you, Jason, on a screen. I'm gonna grab my black box book while you continue to go through some of the stuff. The next domain. Yeah. I'm
sure
just
thing.
because I have it upstairs. I know where it's at, but I just want to grab it and take a look at that before I forget. Otherwise, I'll never get back to it. You know, so we could do this.
Put me on the big screen.
You got it. I'll put you
Star
are.
is born.
Yeah, it's all you now, baby, for the next like 4 minutes or whatever. I'll be right back. So you got it.
So, I mean, one thing that I really enjoyed is chapter 3 of the Ravenloft book, which is about adventuring in the domains of dread. It has a lot of tips for just crafting adventures within the boundaries of, you know, Ravenloft's mood, implied lore, and theming, right? For instance, one thing to keep in mind is that adventurers are incredibly rare, right? This isn't Forgotten Realms, where you just kind of walk into town and it's like, where's the nearest adventurers mart? I need a +1 sword. I'm sure you've got dozens, right? But it's not like that, right? The idea is that the land is very desperate. The very idea of escaping from it is known only to sages, and you know, those sorts of ideas are at least floated to DMs without sort of a dogmatic requirement and finger wagging that's like, you know, it's sort of like try this, try that. When it comes to, so let me take an example. Starting your campaign, right? It gives you a few different options to start your campaign. One of them is collective misfortune, right? So the idea is that something so horrible happened to your PCs that they were like sucked into the mists, right? Like the dark powers claimed them, not because they were evil, but there was just so much dreariness there. And here, what I mean, it's not mentioned, but what this reminds me of is in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, there's a mini Ravenloft domain that's ruled by a nascent Dark Lord, the Shadow Dragon Umbraxikar. It's like Shadowborn Manor or something. And the idea is that like this Shadow Dragon became a Dark Lord and got tangled up with the mists, not because they were just simply evil, but it was mainly because of like their despair and sort of their hopelessness. So that's kind of a neat way that you might travel to Ravenloft, not because you wandered into a fog, but because you got so sad. I dig it. Another way to start your campaign, it says, is Dark Lord's Summons. And we all know this one, right? This goes all the way back to I6, right? You're sitting there at the tavern and a suspicious person gives you a letter from Strahd being like, help me, I'm just beyond the mists, blah. Right? So of course, the PCs could be summoned by the Dark Lord. There's also, it just says, present terror, right? So I guess the idea is that, in the course of your mutual escape from a place that's scary, or in the course of your collective flight from a danger, you end up in this place, perhaps letting the aforementioned danger or imprisonment foreshadow the theme of the domain or something, I'm guessing. Then we have shared mystery, right? So the idea is very similar. You're investigating something and you delve too deeply, right? You suddenly learn too much, and now you find yourself in a very changed world, right? I think this is intended especially to be to tie into the 5.5e adaptation of Innsmouth as a domain, a Lovecraftian grab bag domain. And then we've got Strangers in the Mists. Exchanging glances. Are the characters united by the mists? Might they be traveling to other destinations when the mists unite them? Right, so I suppose this sort of campaign pitch is best, especially if you have just like a like the village people of PCs, where you've got like the construction worker and the cowboy and like, 1920s gangster fingering a violin case that probably conceals a Tommy gun. Somebody else is like from Bubblegum Crisis or whatever. Like if you have a bunch of disparate PCs and you want to, put them all in Ravenloft, it might be best to just say that they meet at the borders of the mists. They meet in between. They meet in a liminal space. I suppose my recommendation that you use the Vague Agency as a hub domain for any, Ravenloft domain hopping campaign would fall into that lettermost suggestion. We've also got things like campaign considerations, right? These are questions about like how lethal you want your campaign to be, and not just like how lethal is it, but more considerations about what happens if a character dies in the mists, right? Remember, there's a lot of undead around here in Ravenloft. So it's not like a PC dying is just, ashes to ashes, right? They could still be around there. They could be a monster now. Is that going to happen? If not, why not, right? There's stuff about altered states. I love me a good, fever dream of an opium addict kind of horror, but of course that you might want to warn tables about that. Stuff about character secrets, stuff about, do you want a mechanic for fear? Do you want a mechanic to like establish that definitely sort of like a dragon's frightful presence or some of the suggestions in Van Richten's? Like, do you want there to be like a fear meter or a distress meter or a like in Darkest Dungeons? Do you want like stress damage kind of stuff? This is just, by the way, all of that was just on a 2-page spread, and I am condensing and summarizing. This is a very rich chapter. It's one of the reasons I like it. I already went over ways that you might connect the various domains of dread as islands or clusters or cores. There are questions about the scrutability of the Dark Lord. They don't call it that, but just, how knowable do you want your Dark Lord to be? There's sort of a spectrum where on one end of the spectrum, you've got, Count Chocula von Zarovich, who shows up every other scene to be like, hello, it's me again. I'm still watching you. I'm still scary. Blah, right? Or on the other end, it's like Cthulhu, where like it's more like a force of nature, an impending apocalypse. It's more of an event than a Dark Lord that you're afraid of happening, right? Like how well do you want your PCs to actually know who the Dark Lord is, and how much of a contribution do they make to the narrative through their force of character and presence and stuff. There's questions about, whether the characters are isolated from the other domains. Also, they mention, that the old question about whether the domains have any inhabitants other than the Dark Lord, right? Especially if
back to the speaking of the what is it, the empty vessels or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, like if the purpose of a domain of dread, if the purpose of a Ravenloft domain is to torment and punish the Dark Lord in an ironic way, you don't really need other people to be there. I mean, you don't need it. It might help out, but like if someone wanted to punish me for my pedanticism, they could certainly imprison me in a holodeck full of images of irreverent students. I wouldn't need the students to be real or anything, right? I can get the idea that maybe the PCs, when they enter a certain domain, are the only real people there.
I hear that, and I know that's a valid. I know it's a very
anti-core.
Yeah, well, I mean, but then I think like some domains where like it might work for some that are sparse, but like I just, when you get into like these larger cities and cultural centers that are supposed to have relevance, and like it kind of, if it is all just happening in the mind of the Dark Lord, then kind of a lot of the weight is taken away from that. Now, I like to think that there are some people that maybe aren't real, but I think that like over a long enough timeline, if these whole cloth, like some domains whole cloth are lifted out of, entire cities are transported, right? So like
Yeah.
at that point, you bring in real people with you, but like or when people come in, they start having kids, and that's how you. But like I understand the concept of it not being,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I just I like thinking that at least a good portion of the people are real, but that's just my personal preference. But I understand that,
No,
like,
I mean,
But and also if they're not,
1,000%.
and also if you know that they're not real, then just hack and slash your way through everything.
Well,
Why is there?
there-
Yeah.
there's a certain kind of horror that I really like that you find in Kafka and like Michael Sisko,
Mm-hmm.
and like this idea that this entire city was made up just to fuck with you,
Oh yeah.
right? Like it's not so much a realistic take on the domain as it is leaning into the haunted house version of domains, where you're
Oh, I like it from a
more
perspective.
like a fever dream.
Yeah, and I like it. I mean, I think that works sparingly. I think that to have all of them be like that, I think is just whatever. But yeah,
I think both.
Mhm.
I think both. All the domains could work that way,
Sure.
but then also all the domains could work as attached to a core or something.
Mhm.
Like I don't think, like if you wanted to run Barovia as an extended fever dream of a paranoid vampire, where everyone is out to prevent him from getting his one true love that he pines
Mhm.
away for, or whatever. Like that certainly is a canonical rewrite to the extreme, but I don't think it doesn't work or anything.
Right.
I think it could also work. I wouldn't run it that way myself, but
yeah, you can make it work.
I think if you can take Sayina, that one domain that's just a theater house,
Mm-hmm.
and you can accommodate a DM's insistence that it's actually a permanent part on the border between Valak Chan and whatever, like that's fine. Let that happen. But also, if you want, you can make all of Ravenloft a series of holodecks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That are just messing with
the Dark Lords.
Yeah.
So,
I'm fine either way. I would love either campaign.
Oh, I know.
I love it all.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, if you play the campaign correctly, the PCs there's a chance they would never even know. It depends. Like you wouldn't necessarily know unless you got a real big peek behind the curtain. The players may not even know that the people that they're helping or interacting with are not actually like real.
I know. Why would you? This is another wonderful question, and I think chat may want to weigh in on this. If I may stray a little further from the review of the book, how many people in your Ravenloft campaign are aware that they're in the demi-plane of dread? And on that matter, how many of them know that they're in a domain of dread? How many of them know that there are Dark Lords with a capital D, right?
And how many people are just getting up in this crappy little town, going to work and coming home and not concerning themselves with
they don't know that they're in a demi-plane or whatever. They just know the world sucks, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea that when we learn the names of some of these domains of dread, we're actually learning some arcane truths that the denizens of those very domains might not know, right? Like if you're just a passenger on Sire 1313, like you might not even know the name of the train that you're on or any of its lore. It's like, I'm just trying to get to Toledo, buddy, or whatever. Like you might not know, right? Or especially if the domain has a name like Gehenna. Which, wait a minute, is Gehenna mentioned in here?
So we got while you're looking for Gehenna, we got two answers to your question. So
let's get some questions.
Let's see. This one person, Hanok.
Oh, thank goodness, Gehenna's still here.
Not many know that, but there are hints. Blue Water Inn asks the question: When is water blue? When the sky clears. So that's not. There's hints, and then Mr. Vincent says no NPC knows what the hell is going on for sure. So so that's pretty much NPCs are kind of clueless. So sorry, go ahead.
Also, hi Fred. Mr. Vincent has his own YouTube channel, and he's a burgeoning creator and a fan of Ravenloft too. Want to say hello?
Nice. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, the way I always run it, and this is like maybe a separate thing, but whenever I run Ravenloft, the situation is this way. Nobody knows what Ravenloft is, what the Dark Powers are, or that they are even in a series of ironic prisons for Dark Lords or anything like that. Nobody's aware of that. There are real people there, but as far as they know, they just call the setting the world or whatever. Sometimes they're lucky enough to live in a domain that has a state and a nation and a political name attached to it, but not always.
Right.
Like if you live in a hovel outside of a mountain that's full of screaming banshees, you might not know that it's called Keening or whatever, right? You might not know that that's the metaphysical name for your domain.
Yeah. And it's not going to be the biggest issue that you're concerned with either, you know.
Well, especially if it's if you just got trapped here, it's like I don't care what it's called. Get me the fuck out.
Get me the hell out of here.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I make three exceptions for who knows about the Dark Powers and Dark Lords and things like that, right? Exception number one is the Dark Lords themselves. Some of them are clever boys and girls, and bees, and they just kind of figured out, like, oh shit, I'm actually an ironic prisoner of my own, so that's what they're doing to me, kind of thing. Like I think Azalin is a very good example of this.
Yeah. Right.
But there are some Dark Lords who just know about the Dark Powers and they're aware of their own confinement. I'll allow that.
No.
Then of course the second source is the Vishtani. Whether I'm sorry about the balloons. Right? The second source is the Vishtani, right? No matter how you deal with the problems of cultural coding and stuff like that, I do enjoy the idea that there are some people who are not just indigenous to the lands of the mists, but who have some know-how, and that because they are comfortable traversing the mists, this also means that they're close enough to scary things to make them outcasts, right? Like if you know a certain tune that you can whistle that keeps you safe from vampires, right? Other people obviously might think that you're commanding vampires with your witchcraft or whatever. Like I like the idea that they're Vishtani, and if there are, however you represent them, they are the second exception to like who knows about the Dark Powers and who knows about the mechanics of Ravenloft. And then third, most importantly, the third kind of person who knows about the Dark Powers, who knows the true names of the domains of dread, and who knows what a Dark Lord is, are PCs who've been playing in my campaign for long enough. That's the other one. Because I swear, if I'm ever going to run a campaign that's set in Ravenloft, a large arc of the campaign is going to be hopping around from domain to trying to escape. And as they do, they eventually discover more and more about the metaphysics of Ravenloft, and they can use that to their advantage, blah, blah, blah. I like that idea. And I also, when I run that, I make sure that like, they are the first PCs, or they're the first adventurers ever to know this stuff, right? I always run it that way. It's not like, join the club. There are a lot of us who discovered about the Dark Powers. You can buy a +3 sword over there at Magic Mart, right? Like, I don't do that, right? Yeah, I like the idea that nobody knows what the Dark Powers are, except for some of the Dark Lords, the Vishtani, and high-level PCs who basically spent an entire campaign in the mists. And that's it.
And they've gained that knowledge through direct access and direct stuff. So
they don't just
they just don't.
Setting, it's not setting for free, or whatever,
right?
Yeah.
So
that's my personal take on. I feel like I might have gone very far afield from whatever the question from chat was, though. Let's go back to chat. Maybe
to bring up a good question, there are probably characters that have a sense of the world's metaphysics, like the Keepers of the Feather and Xanathar at the Amber Temple. So there's I think like Ezra, like some of Ezra's faithful probably have an idea. Or, if you look at some of the people who have tried to, who know what it is, and we know they know what it is because they've actively tried to escape from the realms. Like, I'm sure they have a pretty good idea of how it works. And then, so there's some of those people that know, but I would think that like most, and the way I've done it, most of my PCs just know that this is the town I live in, this is the job that I do, and that's it. Yep. Oh yeah, the carnival. What's her name? Oh, from Carnival.
Isolde?
Yeah, Isolde. No, yeah, she definitely. Her and her troop, and she weaponizes that information. She weaponizes her knowledge to keep everybody in line. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the Fiend. There's a few, but
there's a few that have to know.
Mm-hmm,
likewise with the Feywild. Not to change the topic entirely, but I bet there's a lot of folks who have no idea why their daily lives are so goddamn silly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They have no idea why they live in a Looney Tunes cartoon. They just assume the world is a silly place. And then you have people like the Mr. Witch and Mr. Light of the Witchlight Carnival.
Yeah.
Like those guys know that they're moving from comedy set to comedy set. And I guess they prefer it to the Shadowfell, right? Because that's the whole idea, is that carnival leaders switch places.
Yep.
Right? You had a couple of Shatterkai who were like, we hate our nightmare carnival. And then you had this worn out elf who's like, I am sick of my stupid comedy carnival. And they're like, let's swap it. Yeah.
So, all right. So how far are we into book? Just to get a sense of where we're at, because I know we still want to do some calls if
I praised chapter 3 above all.
Okay.
So chapter 1 is player options. You got your, haunted ranger or whatever. Chapter 2 is all the domains of dread that we love, with amazing artwork and little ideas for adventures. Still haven't talked about Innsmouth as a new domain, because that's a thing. In Sithicus. Then we had a list of domains. I want to mention that Calednay, the Dark Sun domain of dread, is now in here. Right? So maybe all of Dark Sun is a domain of dread. Maybe just this one part is, but we've got Dark Sun.
That's so that's interesting. Does that mean that there's a workaround now for them to start creating Dark Sun content on the DM's Guild? Because technically,
I think we actually, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You just say this is a Ravenloft adventure.
This is a Ravenloft adventure.
Specifically in Calednay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could also introduce some other, also there's another domain called Tyr. I swear, it's like connected to Calednay. So, right. See if they chase you down.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll send the Pinkertons to beat you up or something.
More Pinkertons.
But let me read Calednay real fast.
Okay.
It's in here. All right. Other domains of dread. Here we go. Calednay. The Dark Lord is THOUROUGH on, so consistent there. The hallmarks are magical apocalypse and obsession. The city of Calednay was once the seat of power of Khalid Ma, one of the monstrous sorcerer kings of Athos. I just say Athos. THOUROUGH on, the greatest of Khalid Ma's enforcers, desired the sorcerer king so greatly that when she learned of a plot against her master, she didn't reveal it. Instead, she performed a magical rite to grant Khalid Ma even greater power, sacrificing her own family to do so. That's Dark Lord shit right there. Her ritual went wrong, though, and life-draining magic washed over Calednay, destroying the city and draining life from nearly all its residents. I love how she accidentally did the thing that sorcerer kings in Athos are just trying to do all the time. Awakening amid the ruins, THOUROUGH on found Calednay surrounded by an endless sea of silt and mist. Worse, rather than being empowered, Khalid Ma languished in a cursed torpor, the sorcerer king's vast magic bleeding away. Now THOUROUGH on obsesses over her sleeping king. From Calednay's survivors, she's created a new cult of servants. Following THOUROUGH on's wishes, these Templars condemn trespassers in Calednay to ritual combat in the arena, where the lives of slain sustain the secretly withering sorcerer king. Okay. All right, cool. All right.
Interesting.
So we got a, like in second edition, if I'm not mistaken, we have like a gender-swapped Sleeping Beauty nightmare, where the pharaoh that this lady loves can't be awakened, and it's her own fault, and she hates it, and she brought that state of affairs about by killing a lot of people. So she's evil Dark Lord now, and the domain's theme, or like the thing that you have to worry about when you're in there, is her Templars will grab you and throw you in an arena. Right? So, if I'm not mistaken, the main thing you would worry about if you were in Dark Sun is that Templars would grab you and throw you in an arena, right?
Yeah.
Like So the horror of that domain is just the horror of Dark Sun.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think they're being like, yes, you can do Dark Sun, but only if it's part of a Ravenloft domain.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
The reason Dark Sun's so horrible is not because of systemic. It's because it's a Ravenloft domain. So that's the problem with.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it in Ravenloft, and you can do Dark Sun. I mean,
Yeah.
it is actually. It is crazy when Ravenloft is like, we can't do worse than this. We can't. Yeah. Dark Powers like you already done it. You already done it that.
It is a clever testing of the water, I think, and just since the topic arose, I want to just on the record say, I never thought WotC would be hesitant to include Dark Sun on the grounds of its social and political implications, because if you're a fan of the Crimson Pentad and like the original writers, those guys are kind of left leaning anyway, right? Like they intended the Dark Sun setting to be one where you fight against slavery,
right?
And you fight against ecological degradation, and you fight against tyranny and all that stuff.
It was supposed to be catharsis, It was supposed to be,
The idea is like, aren't you sick of like oppression and the ecological crises we're in? In this fantasy, you can fight against it, right? Kind of thing. But also just the main reason why I said they're not going to do Dark Sun is because Dark Sun required subsystems, and everyone from Jeremy Crawford to Mike Merles to what's his name, Chris Perkins, right? Like they all agreed you can't introduce subsystems to your already sophisticated RPG. People won't use the subsystems, even if they celebrate the release of the subsystems and they say, finally, subsystems. They're not going to go to their table and bring the subsystems. It's just not going to work, right? And so it looks like if they're going to do Dark Sun now, what they're going to do is like they're going to have all these subclasses, and they're going to kind of unofficially restrict them or something. It'll be like you can play a warlock if it's the Templar class, or you can play a druid, but you have to be a preserver or something. It's still kind of a subsystem thing, and I'm still skeptical they're going to try to pull it off. But just for the record, I too am skeptical about Dark Sun 5.5e. But it's not because I think it's socially or politically toxic. I think it's more that the
still can't come up with good psionics rules.
It's the fact that by design it was supposed to be a departure from the fantasy role-playing games, not just in theme but in mechanics. It was supposed to have its own psionic thing. So it's like I think that's the main thing that's holding them back, because if it were anything else, they could just be like, they could have a series of disclaimers, and they could be like, look, this is a game about opposing the historic evils of slavery. And we even have an introduction by Gerald Horne or whatever, right? Like you could do that, right? The possibility of people misunderstanding the antagonistic position of oppression in your setting is not the reason why they're not going to. Right? It has to do with the subsystems, I swear. Okay, rant over.
It's all good.
It's the subsystems. It's not about the other stuff. Yep. In my opinion.
No, I gotcha.
Do we have more questions about the Ravenloft book? There's a whole monster section I didn't get to, and NPCs and stuff.
Well, full disclosure, we're creeping up on about 2 hours. We got about 15 minutes left. I was thinking, what we could do if anybody's interested in like jumping on and chatting a bit, we could open up the phone lines on Discord for the next 10-15 minutes, and then we can call it a stream. So if anybody wants to jump on, the link to the Discord is up at the top, and you can just go right into the call waiting section, and then I can bring you on with Jason and I. You don't have to make your face doesn't have to appear on stream if you don't want to. We'll just go with your voice, just go with your audio. That's fine. But if you got any questions, anything you want to say about the book, anything you're excited on, not looking forward to, all that stuff, feel free to jump in now while Jason starts to, I guess if you just want to wrap up your final thoughts and stuff like that, Jason, while we wait to see if anybody jumps in. That's up to you. While we wait to see if anybody comes in, and if we do, we'll go to them and chit chat. So
I would say so far this is the best book released for 5.5e outside of the Monster Manual. It's got a lot of fun tips for just running Ravenloft. It has a lot of winks and nods. Oh, I didn't get a chance to, or I forgot to mention this, but the third domain that's mentioned in Clore, a series of bloody iron arenas. I think that's an inside joke to Warriors of Blood and Iron, Ravenloft, the really, 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 really terrible PS1 Ravenloft themed fighting game that William SRD grudgingly reviewed on his channel simply because people demanded that he do so.
I forgot about that till now. Until you mentioned
there's a reference in here. It's hilarious. I think this is a really great book. I think the art is beautiful. If the main concern you have is that it's a reprint of Van Richten's guide, I would say it has a lot of things that Van Richten's guide doesn't, especially in the way of like bastions, suggestions about DM options, a couple new domains, and an update, a 5.5e update for the monster stat blocks, everything from Junkja to Loup-Garou to the Old Mystic Inquisitors. Our Spawn.
I love my Loup-Garou. We do have another question. Is there anything new on Barovia? Curse of Strahd DMs would like to know, or is Barovia sort of the same?
Let's take a look here.
And also, just so you know why you're looking for that. Also, what cool and noteworthy monsters should we be looking out for, if any? Are there any new worth? And you said there's stat blocks for all the Dark Lords, or select Dark Lords? Yes.
All the Dark Lords of domains that get a full entry.
Gotcha.
When it comes to the shopping list of the minor domains, they don't give you stats for those any more than they give you entries for the domain. One thing that I liked in the Barovia entry, which they didn't have before, so they've got like a sketch of the domain. They have a really pretty map of it, which we all have our Barovia maps. Sorry, back here, but the color scheme is kind of nice. It's like spooky red and stuff. But one thing I really liked here is a sort of an outline of campaign arcs, right? So so the idea was if you want to do a whole campaign, what should you, around which event should you cluster the PC's levels over here, right? And it's a quarter page.
That seems pretty helpful, though. That seems helpful.
Yeah, it's pretty helpful. We also have the usual tables. So these are they're not the same as what's in Van Richten's guide, but they're similar. They're tables of in which form is Tatiana reincarnated? Where is Strahd, and that sort of thing. I have to say,
Jason, one thing real quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
There's not a lot of new stuff. You do have a little adventure. You got a little adventure that uses the Blood of the Vine Tavern, it's a little one shot.
Oh, cool.
And that's kind of nice. You have a one-shot adventure in the Barovia setting, so that's kind of nice. But I wouldn't say that there's a lot that's new in the way of lore. I think it's sort of, hey, everyone, it's your favorite domain of dread.
It's your favorite domain of dread that everybody plays in the first time.
We have a beautiful illustration of Castle Ravenloft, though.
I like that perspective shot. That's nice. 1,000 feet down, I heard her scream. We have a request can you go over Innsmouth? How is it as a domain, tech level? Is it just Innsmouth from Cthulhu, or is there a twist on it?
Oh, it's definitely, okay. So I think they did a pretty good job with this. So, for the first time since the Fiend Folio or Demigods and
Deities and Demigods?
We have Cthulhu back in D&D and statted. So,
I'm pretty sure it was Fiend and Folio, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So here's, I read this and I thought about it. So, one thing, let me just get this out of the way. Okay. So, when it comes to H.P. Lovecraft's own stories, the city of Innsmouth is a coastal city full of really creepy, suspicious people who act strange to outsiders. And we get to know them from an outsider who goes there, and it turns out that the village is full of fish people that worship an undersea deity called Dagon. And then the ultimate horror, spoilers for a story that's a century old. the ultimate horror is it turns out our protagonist discovers that he's also part fish people or whatever. So strictly speaking, Innsmouth has nothing to do with Cthulhu. It also has nothing to do with the Elder Things, which appear in At the Mountains of Madness, which is H.P. Lovecraft's, sort of little novella. Innsmouth, in the Van Richten's or in The Horrors Within. Innsmouth in The Horrors Within is sort of a mashup of as many Lovecraftian things they could combine. And one, I don't think this is illegitimate in the way of being like unfaithful to Lovecraft or whatever, because it's been a whole century and then some. Like, people have been role playing and making up things and adding on the Cthulhu mythos is just a thing you can do now, right? Don't get mad at WotC for doing it, right? Then what we have, here's how I would describe this domain. Okay, so there's a little city of Innsmouth, and that's kind of like the city from The Shadow Out of Innsmouth. It's a suspicious seaport town. And then the rest of this is horrible alien bonkers great old one like horrible Lovecraftian thing land. Like this is not a low fantasy setting. This is not like a setting that you would take a PC from Call of Cthulhu into. Right?
Okay.
Right?
So it's bonkers. It's not like a couple creatures and then the rest of like a regular countryside. So it's not like you took Mordenshire and dropped Cthulhu in. It's it's bonkers. It's completely Cthulhu-ized.
It's very heavy on sort of the monsters. And I think this is actually in a way to its credit because it knows that it's fantasy horror, right? Like one of the things that's so fun about horror role-playing games like Call of Cthulhu is that if you find yourself in combat with a monster, you screwed up and now you're dead, right? Whereas D&D is a monster killing game. It's a game about killing monsters. So if you're going to have a bunch of Lovecraftian monsters, what you need to do is you just need to like make the setting in which you kill them so scary, right? So that's sort of what they went with. They have a bunch of different cults. All of the cults are active. All of them, as soon as the PCs arrive, are in the very midst of summoning their great old one to destroy the universe or whatever. I would assume that if you're running a one-shot in Innsmouth, like, you could localize it to just like one little horror story and keep things contained. But you could also be like, all right, over here, the serpent people who have awoken from their deep sleep beginning in the Triassic period have renewed their collaboration with the Elder Things from beyond Pluto. And then those two are in a struggle against the Shoggoths, who, they showed up in the Jurassic period, but now they're, the thing is that they're aligned with the King in Yellow. And the King in Yellow finally succeeded in his rivalry against the Glaaki, which was also controlling undead. I mean, you can't have more than one great old one controlling, right? Like, I expect that bullshit would be going on in here. Like, this is not the version of Lovecraft where it's like, something's off. Like, no. Like this is the version where like Cthulhu is in the middle of rising from the sea, so good luck with that kind of thing. They just sort of throw you into more action cosmic horror.
Oh, that's good though, because it offers that differentiation between Call of Cthulhu and this, right? So you wouldn't want to just take we're just gonna do Call of Cthulhu, but in this book, it just mechanically it doesn't work.
It's the wrong game. Yeah, CR Cthulhu, by the way, is a CR25 creature that is very, very scary. And a lot of the entry on Innsmouth is about the different cults and what they do and who they worship. We've got like Yog-Sothoth cults, and we've got the Dagon cult, and we also have some shout outs to like Evil Forgotten Realms stuff. I mean, why not?
Yeah, why not?
And there's my. And it has like, as all the other domain entries do, there's like some themes for sort of like, or some ideas for themes for a larger campaign. And also, hey, we do get a battle map. Every single domain gets a battle map, at least in the major domains. And this is like kind of a, I guess this is where that ill-fated New Zealander's yacht or whatever washes ashore in Call of Cthulhu.
That's cool. That's neat.
Yeah.
So
What else we got?
I think we may be wrapping up, buddy. I think that's it. So far,
Hey.
it doesn't. I think. I don't know. Any last minute questions, chat? Because I think we're clicking on about 2 hours, and I think we're getting ready to wrap up. I'm gonna switch over to a little bit of a different view here, and nope, that didn't work. Oh, there we go. Got it. Yeah, I figured out how the stream works. Jason, I wanna say thank you, sir, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun. I hope
Yeah.
I hope everybody out there had as much fun as I know I did, and I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on the book now. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you spending the time to go over that, man. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about it, and I agree with your initial statement where you said it felt like they addressed some of the chatter from the community, and even down to like having visual clues as to that being the case. So like I feel like we're we've come back around a little bit to this isn't necessarily not for somebody. Seems like it's very, very inclusive for everybody. We're like old fans of the setting and newer fans of the setting. So
and of course you can't please everyone all the time.
Well, sure.
We are trying to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
I agree. This was a pleasure. I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah.
Anyone who likes my videos will, know that now I have to do videos on Innsmouth, Calednay, and Sithicus. So those are 3 that are on the docket.
Yeah.
I still got Nova Vasa coming, and I'm going to do Hit Point Press's Hecna setting.
Yeah. I do hit point presses at home. I want my hit point bench press. That's no.
Nice.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. All right, Jason, it was a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon. Everybody go. I'm sure you already are, but if anybody here who is not subscribed to Jason's channel, go check it out. PhD&D. Dr. Bowers, check out Gabriel at Hour of the Raven. I'll have his when these videos. This will go. I mean, to be honest, Jason, I don't know. I initially thought like we're gonna have to edit a bunch to get it to the point where it's ready to go out. But I think we did a pretty good job of not flubbing stuff so bad today that we are gonna have a whole lot of editing. So
just trim the start and end, and then it's fine.
Yeah. So it'll be out in video form on Jason's channel. Whenever he decides to put it up, I'll get it over to him soon. And I'll leave it up as a live. And thanks again, everybody. We're gonna, Jason, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go say goodbye in my out front of the new house, and I'll catch you soon, brother. Thank you very much. It was great. It was great having you, pal. See ya. Take it easy. Oh, the magic of computer stuff. There. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Oh, yep, I gotta get up off my porch here. There you go. All right, thank you for dealing with the cruddy green screen while I still get a lot of these other assets working. And yeah, that's messed up. That's all green now, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I had a lot of fun tonight with Jason. I want to thank Jason from PhD&D. I had mentioned everybody who showed up in chat for not having streamed in a while. We had a lot of people here tonight, and I really, really enjoyed it. The 2 hours flew by, and I recommend taking a look at this book and picking it up, even if you were on the fence before, because maybe you don't know 5th or 5.5, it's whatever. But it seems like the first Ravenloft book in a while that I could get just to read and didn't have to play, and that was always one of my favorite things as a kid. It didn't matter whether I was playing at the time or not. I could still get the books and still read them, and this one seems like that may be able to hit that sweet spot. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good evening. I'll, as I like to say, don't get lost in the mist. You guys means a lot to me, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream. And be looking forward to the Feast of Goblins and Trepanations are coming out soon. And I guess that's it. Goodbye from Ravenlord Land. Take it easy and have a good Sunday.